Well, Ian, that was very interesting. We had Tyler Tischendorf with Circle Real Estate.
Yep.
They're right here in downtown Carmel. And I know Tyler personally. And I tell you, I think it was really interesting to listen to him and have him tell us his story. What did you find the most interesting in his story?
I liked how he got into the business, because most people are looking into real estate prior and whatnot. He had no thought process of it or anything before somebody came to him. But I'm not going to give away the story, because I think you definitely need to listen to it.
Yep. And yet he's a phenomenal real estate agent. He's doing a great job. He's starting off really strong. He's got a great team behind him, great mentors. So I think it's a really fascinating story.
Yes, it is. And he has several really good stories in here that you need to tune in and listen to. So listen to the whole thing. You will not be disappointed.
Welcome to Indy's Real Estate Gurus, your ultimate guide to the dynamic world of real estate in Indiana. And I'm Rick Ripma, your hardworking mortgage guy, and I've been in real estate and mortgages for over 24 years.
And I'm Ian Arnold, a loan officer on Rick's hardworking mortgage team, and we are both with Advisors Mortgage Group. Together, we'll empower you with expert advice, market trends, and successful stories from guru realtors and local experts.
Whether you're a homeowner, investor, or pro, join us as we navigate the thriving Indy real estate market.
Now get ready to unlock the doors of success, one episode at a time.
It's an exciting day. I've got a guy I really know pretty well. He tortures me 3 times a week because he's my personal trainer and stretchologist. Flexologist.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel that way.
No.
Tortureologist.
Yeah.
But he's also a real estate agent, and you've just gotten into real estate.
Yep.
As Tyler Tischendorf,
Yep.
and you're with Circle.
That's correct.
And Circle's right here in downtown Carmel, Indiana.
Yeah, just right down the road from
Yeah.
here. Yeah. So it's I got into it. That was, I guess, February. I finally got done with my test. Finally passed that. Got licensed, and then got on with Circle Real Estate in April.
Yeah.
I believe that was the case. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot about your career, so I'll get into it. But before real estate, I like to talk about what you did before, where you grew up, where are you from. I know you're not from Indianapolis, so tell us your background, your story.
Yeah. So I'm from Santa Claus, Indiana. It's not too far from the Kentucky-Indiana border there.
Nobody knows the Kentucky border, but we all know the amusement park.
Yes. Yeah. Holiday World.
Holiday World, right?
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah. If you don't know what where Santa Claus is, it's Holiday World. You know what that is.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. So grew up there. Went to the University of Southern Indiana. Got my exercise science degree. And I wanted to be a personal trainer at the time. My college job was in orthotics and prosthetics. And so I eventually got tired of working with that and wanted to get into personal training. But there weren't as many gyms down there in Evansville. So a buddy of mine, he had a room open up, and he said, hey, why don't you come on up to Indy? Started looking at gyms in Indy, and got on at one called Fitness by Design. Which you now work out at. That's where I torture you.
That's where you torture me.
And but first, where I met you was StretchLab. So after working at Fitness by Design for a couple of years like that, I filled out the rest of my schedule with StretchLab. So I became what we call flexologist, and I just stretch people with I won't get into the details of that, but yeah. So that's where I met you, and then from there, the gym. But anyway, I got into real estate through one of my clients at StretchLab, Connor Woodland. At the time, I think he was with Century 21 Sheets.
Yeah.
And he'd actually got recruited by Circle. And I was very fortunate because I don't think they take new people. I think they typically have people that have got some years in the business. And so I'm very fortunate to be around a good group of experienced people.
Yeah, they're all hitters.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're all gurus.
Yes.
Every single one of them there is a guru.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. So, and then Connor's my mentor, and we've been just kind of rolling with that this year. So
yeah, Connor's a great guy, and he really has helped you out a lot. I think it's really and you've helped him out too, because he's a very busy person, and then you're able to learn and go along. And so you said you were you got your license in
that was February.
February.
Yeah.
And so you've almost been a year, but you've done quite a few deals.
Yeah. Here it started to kind of pick up a little bit here recently, and a lot of it's been, Connor's been able to feed me some clientele during that time, so I'm hoping through doing a good job with those, word of mouth, and trying to talk to my clientele about that, keep them up to date with all that stuff, and I can see their confidence growing in me with that, starting to ask me more questions, I'm hoping that maybe down the road that'll kind of grow some fruit there too. So.
Yeah, it definitely will.
Yeah.
And I can already tell, because I've been around you quite a bit, and I can tell you're already picked up a lot. You're learning. You have a great mentor, which Ian and I believe, based on all of our conversations with the agents that we've had, the gurus, that the real way to become a guru is to get started and have a great mentor or mentors. And you have Connor, plus you have Jason O'Neill, and you have a very big, strong group of agents in Circle that will help you out.
Yeah, for sure. And our administrator, Libby, she does a great job as well. They're all there for questions anytime that I need. If Connor's a very busy person too there, so anything that he can't answer, or that I've got plenty of people to go to. I'd never have to worry about. Not feeling like I'm going to be left out, which is good for my clients too, because they're always going to have an answer. If I can't get anything done, I'm going to work my butt off to go find that for you. So,
right.
So going from personal training and also flexology, which I didn't know that was a terminology, but
it's torturology.
Torturology,
I can't tell you, they just changed it to sound better.
So what made you even want to dip your toe into real estate?
I didn't. Connor reached out. I had never. The only job I'd ever thought about doing was I just wanted to work in shorts and a t-shirt. So personal training fit that bill pretty well. StretchLab and being a flexologist fit that bill really well. And then I think it was not this past October, the October before. After a session, Connor he wrote me. It was very, very official. He wrote me a letter, and he handed it to me. He said, "Read this over. Take a couple of days to think on it." And I read through it, and it was a proposal. Hey, I'll help you. I'll take care of the classes, fees, and all that the first couple of years like that, and get you going like that. And he said, if at any point you don't want to do this, you're good. Well, you don't owe me anything. Just walk away. But he said, I think you got the soft skills for it, and I think you can really develop with it. So I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, I'm young, I'm single, I don't have anything tying me down. Why not, right? I'd be foolish to not let somebody pay to make me smarter, and that's kind of where I've been. If a door opens like that, walk through it if you can. So, that's what I did, and that's whenever I started getting interested in it. And it was a slow start at first. We figured out what course I was gonna do, and man, that stuff is not my.
You didn't like
I think you remember a couple of sessions that were not so good, but so got through that, and I've just been getting more and more interested as we've gone. So no interest at first. Never thought about doing it until last year. So.
It's so we run into that a lot. Mm-hmm. People who weren't thinking about real estate. Somebody said, "You know what? You'd be really good at real estate," and they think, "Well, okay, I'll try that." And then they get into it and they fall in love with real estate. They love it because you can maybe not this time of year, but you can kind of do it in shorts and a t-shirt.
Sometimes, I try to dress it up. If I'm going shorts and a t-shirt like that, dress it up a little bit like that. Yeah, right? Maybe a polo.
Just depends on what you're doing. I know that's not what you do.
No.
But I think Connor was right. I think you have the skills to do it. And so, and I've seen that you've grown and you've gotten the desire to do it. Mm-hmm. So I think you're going to do extremely well. I think that you went to the exact right spot, and you have a great mentor. And I think that to me should be comforting to people. Beyond that, it's that with what you've done in the past, how do you see, like, being a personal trainer and a flexologist, how those skills transfer over to real estate?
Yeah, the interpersonal communication for sure. I talked to a couple of my buddies that they have desk jobs. They don't communicate too well, and they've kind of picked that out in some of our conversations. Like whenever we're out in public like that, it's a lot easier sometimes. I'm a bit of a hermit sometimes, but
a lot of us are.
But there are other times like that where I'm very good. Whenever I get going like that, the interpersonal communication like that, it's not an issue for me, and I think I kind of thrive with that a little bit. But I think that's been a big thing, is I'm just continuously able to practice that through my job. It's not even that I'm trying to. It's just that's just what the job is. Yeah.
So I think my wife was a personal trainer for a while, but I think especially in office jobs, people don't like having the tough decision. Like even with personal training, you have to have that tough decision. Like, hey, why are you here? I mean, this is the reason why you're overweight. You can't touch your toes. There's a reason why you're here. You got to have those toughs. And I think that's one great thing here, is because sometimes you do have to have that tough decision and discussion with somebody that you're able to go through it with them.
Yeah. And it's always going to be a little, awkward going into it, but you kind of find your way through it and get them the best. I will say on that, I ask all my clients, because in my head, I went to school for that stuff, and I'm like, this is so easy. Why are you paying for this? It might be foolish for me to ask that, but I do genuinely want to know. And a lot of it's accountability.
Yep.
That's what it is. We need somebody to I know what to do. I've done it in the past. I've got all the tools. I just need somebody to make me do it.
I'm that way, especially I used to run marathons and everything. And then I used to have a group. They faded away. I can't go out there and just run by myself.
Yeah.
So.
You can.
I can.
You just have to do
mentally, it. I just can't.
If
a group of guys were going, hey, let's go. We're meeting here. Great, I'm there.
Yeah.
But it's just me going on my own. It's just, I can't do it.
Right. You're not going to go out to the park and go do that by yourself. Yeah.
But it helps to have somebody there, not only to, I think a personal trainer is a valuable asset. It's kind of like having a coach. It is like having a coach. You have a coach because they hold you accountable, but it just makes you do some things that you might not do. It also makes you do them correctly. Like if I'm working out and I'm not doing it correctly, you can spot that and fix the error so I don't hurt myself, and it actually works much better.
Right. Yeah. We'll give you those cues to kind of correct whatever we're seeing.
Right. Because I work out on my own also, but I don't know if I'm doing it correctly. I use you to learn, make sure, so I can take that back to when I do them on my own, because I need that.
You do have those visuals though don't you? Don't you watch is it a
video?
Yeah,
I watch a video.
Yeah. So you do at least have that representation of that to kind of mirror them. So, but that's what we can work on that in the gym, right? To you learn, or you feel that, right? You create that awareness.
Exactly.
And then you can kind of identify that on your own.
Yeah. And I think that transfers over to real estate, because you're good at very nicely pointing out little changes that could be better. Okay. And same as in real estate, as you learn and grow more in real estate, you'll have those little things that maybe this would be a better option, or not that you're educating them, which is how you do it. You educate them so that they know, okay, maybe this would be better. Because somebody who's never bought a home before, or somebody who's bought a home, the last time they bought their home was 5 years ago, they aren't going to remember, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming. I'm going to imagine.
Yeah. They don't remember. Right. Well, you've worked with people and you've sold houses, and I know you've worked with first-time home buyers, but I know you've also worked with people who are selling houses.
Yeah.
And when they go to buy another house, they may act like they know. I'm telling you, it changes too much, and it's been too long. They don't know, and they know they really don't know. Some people, not me, of course, would not want to act like I didn't know, but people want to act like they know.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I definitely have sensed that confidence from some people like that, but maybe they've, you get into it and then they're like, oh, well, maybe I didn't. Yeah.
there's things that can come up.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like that great Thanksgiving everybody remembers. So, for instance, one of my last Thanksgiving with my grandfather, we went over to their house. Well, they forgot to pull out the turkey. I don't remember too much anything else. I do remember that Thanksgiving, but that's what I remember is they forgot to pull out Thanksgiving. So we're just buying random stuff to have Thanksgiving dinner. I remember that. I don't remember, everybody here or whatever conversation. So it's the same thing about real estate. If I did something 5 years ago, I might remember one or two great facts about it, but then the rest of it just blurred over because it might have been just an easy appraisal. So I may not remember the full appraisal, but the inspection maybe it came back bad and I had to get through that, but then everything else went smoothly. Yeah. So I may only really remember the inspection.
Yeah.
The feelings you get from that you remember a lot more, right? Than like you said, the details.
Memories are not very accurate is what I've found.
Yeah.
So you got to,
especially Rick's.
I'm telling you, you sound like my wife now. Okay. No, but it is amazing. You have two people that went through the exact same thing and have totally different memories of what happened. My siblings and I have. I'm like, did I grow up in the same house as you? I don't remember any of that. Yeah, but I got to get back to what you said. Now, wait a minute. They forgot to buy a turkey?
No.
Or they left it in the oven?
They left it in the freezer.
Oh, it didn't thaw out.
It didn't thaw out. So it's just sitting in the freezer because my dad was going to make it and everything. He goes, where'd you guys do with the turkey? I don't see it in the fridge. So they go, oh, it's still in the freezer. And then my grandfather, then he's like, well, you can just microwave it. Oh, my God. And my dad's like, no, you can't. So luckily, I think one of the Kroger or something was open. So they just went and just bought some random foods. And it's one of those things that you remember.
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to stick out. Right?
Very memorable. Yeah. Thanksgiving.
So what's been your hardest thing about get going? I know he's helping you get going, but let's say for your personal self, what are you struggling with?
Finding a balance. I finally broke out a whiteboard the other day. Between training in the morning, stretching in the afternoons, and then the real estate stuff in the evenings and the weekends, I'm starting to kind of get stuff jumbled up. The details are getting crossed, especially with getting multiple deals going here towards the end of the year. I had to sit down and I'm like, all right, I got to organize this stuff. I'm not a very, I've got what's that? It's like Mom would get on me all the time, growing up like that. It was organized the way I wanted it to. It looked like a mess to her. Oh. But I knew where everything was at. It's kind of how it fit. Like I work right now.
Organized disaster.
But I'm going to, an organized disaster. There you go. Yeah. I'm going to have to work on that. That's something that, and I'm not typically like a New Year's resolution or a goal setter, but I definitely think I'm going to have to be this year. With all that. So that's been kind of my personal struggle a little bit with that, is just kind of keeping it all in wraps, and then keeping, fitness and recovery and all that kind of stuff is, it's been an important part of my life, and I want to keep that up. But some of that got lost in the shuffle with all that stuff. Working on all that.
Yeah. I mean, anytime, especially you're working two jobs basically. Finding the balance.
Three.
Three.
Three. Yeah, I guess now. Yeah. So,
yeah, finding the balance, it's tough, and I think a whiteboard's a very good decision. I think like even Rick and I, we do time blocking, and so nothing goes into those time frames and stuff like that, because if not, your whole day is ruined.
Yeah, well, and it seems to be very effective. I've heard you guys talk about it, and then I've heard, we've chatted a little bit about it, and I think that's something that would be very efficient. Doing
it'd help you a lot.
Setting that up.
Time blocking helps a lot. Yeah. It's kind of difficult at first, and it's kind of hard to believe that you can get that much done, but and you have hard time blocks anyway. Certain amount of time you're going to be at the gym, and certain amount of time you're going to be at the StretchLab, and certain amount of time you're going to be doing real estate. But if you time block it and you schedule those things and then you do them, and each one of those things should, you have the one thing you got to get done. I think it's really real estate. The others you have clients coming in, so there's
right. Yeah. So I've already got, I guess, half of it, like you said, time blocked like that. So getting the other stuff, then it's holding me accountable too.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's key. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, they have any real estate needs.
Yeah.
What's the best way?
Text or call me, 812-686-4342. My email is tyler@circle-re.com.
And the phone number is 812.
Yep.
686-4342.
Correct.
That's And they can call or text that number.
Yep, call or text that number.
All right.
At
perfect.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
Well, I heard one of the gurus said, "My phone is always available," and it's true.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
not, but their phone is
Their
always
phone
available.
is always
Their
available.
phone
Yeah,
is
leave me a
always
message.
available.
Yeah, I'll get back with you as soon as possible. I'll be up at 5. I'll get back with you.
Nobody expects you to get I get up at 4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect anybody, if I happen to text somebody at 4 o'clock, to get back with me.
No,
I don't text them at 4 o'clock, but I wouldn't expect them to get back with me.
Right.
No, I mean, like, it's funny is my phone is on silent because I've had numerous people being in the car industry. My phone number's been out there in the wilderness forever.
Uh-huh.
So I've had people randomly call or text in the middle of the night, and my wife's like, "Who is that?" And then I'm like, so I got tired of waking up to that stuff, and so I just put mine on silent. So even if you text, call, or email me, after I go to bed, I'm not seeing it until the morning. But I'll get back with you.
Yeah.
Anything can wait until the morning.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, and I've kind of found is like I'm trying. That's another thing I guess I've struggled with as well. Is that's something I used to never have my notifications on my friends. They get very frustrated with me sometimes because I struggle to get back because I don't like it. I used to keep it away from me, but I can't do that anymore. So now it's finding a time to all right. I'm available through these hours to these hours here. Notifications go off after that. I got to get some rest, and I got to shut off from the technology and all that stuff. So
Yeah, shutting off from technology is really important.
Yeah.
But I found that all change is hard at first, it's messy in the middle, and then it's beautiful at the end.
Yeah.
But it's hard at first.
It's hard at first.
It
yeah.
is always hard, and getting rid of technology can be hard at first.
Yeah.
But to get a hold of Ian or I, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or you can give us a call at 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938.
All right, Tyler, we're going to take a sidestep.
All right.
And I know you don't have a lot of free time, but let's say that you can't work any of your jobs. What do we do? What do you catch you doing for fun?
Yeah, so I like to, and I haven't had as much time recently, but I'd like to get back to that. I like to go out to parks, and I'll climb around on trees and some rocks and stuff like that, and I'll go for a little run. I just like being outside with that kind of stuff. I had, whenever I first moved up here, a couple of trainers took me out to a park. Growing up, never climbed a tree. It was sports, all the way through. I didn't look at trees. I didn't care for trees, other than if I was out in the woods hunting. They took me out. We started climbing around some trees. I was like, this is a really good workout, and this is kind of fun. So that's you'd find me doing that. I also recently got into thrifting for books. I like doing that too. So if I don't have my phone, I'll go drive around and go look for books or something like that. But I've found that's kind of fun too. Just put in a good podcast, listen to that, and look for some books. So yeah.
All right. So how many parents look at you when you're climbing up a tree?
Well, yeah. I don't know. There was probably quite a few of them. One day, I actually I was out over the White River like that. There was a sycamore that bent over onto a little piece of land out in the middle of it, and I got the bright idea in my head that I'm going to climb this thing upside down, and I'm going to get over to the other side. And I got about halfway over and realized I didn't have the stamina to get the rest of the way up. But the thing is I would have to go the same
You're
distance
halfway
back as I would have. So I might as well have kept going. But anyway, in the moment I decided I'm going to go back. And I get back to the base of it here, and I'm still over the water a little bit, but there's two chutes that go up from the side, and I need a break. So I lock one of my legs into one of them. I lock another one of my legs into the other one, thinking I'm going to be able to get both of these out after I rest. Well, I have my rest. I get one leg out. I can't get the other. So I'm upside down, dangling. And my leg, it got to the point where the pressure, I can't remember if I remember telling you this.
No, you didn't tell me. This is great.
And it was my left leg, and I've still got a little mark there from it, and the bone kind of feels a little different from it. But it felt like it was going to snap at one point. And I was, getting ready to holler out there was parents off in the distance. So they might have been looking at me and watching me. But my My phone, text or call, 812-686-4342. You can email me at tyler@circle-re.com.
I would say that's a pretty easy number, 686-4342.
But 812. You got to
Yeah,
use the
it's still 812, but I'm just
812.
saying that it has like a rhythm to it.
It does. Yeah. Which is good for me. Yeah, that
Yeah.
helps. Yeah.
Yeah. That way you can remember it. That is a good thing.
Yeah.
And to get a hold of Ian or I, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or you can give us a call at 317-672-1938. It's 317-672-1938.
All right, so now we'll get into the question of the week before Rick starts drilling you with the hard questions. But what was your first car?
So I was going to call, I knew this was going to come as well, and I should have called mom or dad, and I didn't. Rick, we actually talked about this. You asked, I think
I think it's like a 97 or 98.
Something like that.
Right
It was one of the
there.
square body, the F-150s and all that. And it had a camper shell. Not whenever I was driving it, but whenever my sisters would drive it, they'd put the camper shell on it. So it was called Myrtle the Turtle. But it was a green one like that, and it was it was our beater truck. So you'd go around hauling wood, or we would mow. That was my side job, or my job growing up, was mowing and weed eating like that. So hauling the mower around and the weed eaters and all that stuff.
Okay.
So
you cut grass for a living.
yeah, that was my first job.
Okay.
That was I think 8, 9, whatever that was, and cash. It was $10 an hour cash, which was really good. What was that, early 2000s like that? So push mowing the local church and the cemetery and all that stuff. So I graduated from the push mower to the weed eater, and then by the time I got to being able to do the mower, I had to do everything. So
Okay.
or I got to do everything.
Who were you with? Who was your partner in that?
My brother.
Your brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad and my mom. Really, everybody kind of helped with it like that. So it was ability to. We got money out of it, and
Okay.
and they didn't have to pick up. It just added work to them. They didn't have to do. Mom and dad didn't have to pick that up, but it was a good thing for them to do. It taught us how to work. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
I think it's good for young kids. I mean,
Yeah.
I did it as a young kid. I mean, my son's getting to that age where in the next couple of years he'll be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You want money? Well,
Yeah.
here's now I got to give him a little bit more. My dad gave me $1 and go fill up gas tank, and then I had to go to the neighbors. It'll be a little bit more that I give them, but then your job is to go. That's not it. If you want money, go earn it.
Yeah, you earn it, especially in the summertime like that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hot days with that. So
I had him cut the grass for the first time.
Okay.
And so many dads drove by seeing us and gave us thumbs up and everything. Because I mean, my son is 8 and it's hard for him to push it, but at least straightaways I was letting him do it.
Yeah.
And it was just funny that how many dads were like, "Oh yeah, this is awesome." I'm like, yeah, you got to get them going.
Yeah, absolutely, get them going. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
my dad paid me $2, so your dad was cheap.
No. It was $1 to fill up the gas can.
Oh.
So you didn't get paid.
No. Then I didn't get paid for cutting my own grass. No, I had to go to neighbors, and I charged 10 for the front, 10 for the back.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the way it was. I mean, the yards in our neighborhood were not huge, but they're not small as in you go to Westfield right now or Carmel and houses are on top of each other. I mean, that would be a $10 job easy, front and back, and you're done in 5 minutes.
I wish I could get mine done for $10.
Yeah, but you live in a much bigger area, so.
Yeah, a little bit more land.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think cutting grass, I agree. It's a great way to make money.
Yeah.
And it's funny because maybe it's just because it's this area, but you drive around and it's like everybody has somebody else cutting their grass now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
nobody
no
does
services,
it themselves.
people just going down the
Yeah.
down the
So I think you can add landscaper to your repertoire of skills and abilities because you did, you had a landscape company cutting grass,
If
right?
property needs to be weed eated, I can I can do that.
There you go.
I want to leave the weed eater. I don't have that up.
You've got a lot of
with me.
skills.
Hey,
A lot of
you're
skills.
supposed to have skills.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to ask your favorite question?
Which one? I have like 300 of them.
Ooh.
Well, the one that stumps everybody.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right. So we've all had new jobs, and you've had quite a few jobs.
Yeah.
So, and different styles. But what is one thing you have learned since starting real estate?
It's not over until you close. There's a lot of stuff that can happen in the meantime there. So, the first couple, I think I got really excited and I was like, all right, this is, but then things happen that, it falls through. So, I think, again, staying calm, staying even with things, there's a lot of things that can happen, I guess, in between like that.
Yeah,
So.
I think that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
I mean, just to put it in mind perspective, I mean, let's be honest, most transactions are roughly about 30 days, so
Yeah.
from start to finish. Well, think of how many things could go wrong in 30 days, and you don't get paid in the first day. No, not even in the 10th day, or you get paid when they finally sign.
Right. Yeah.
So a lot of things can come up, whether it's somebody's lost their job or bad inspection or appraisal or too many things. And if you're already counting your money before, you're in trouble.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, and it's good. Yeah. For the client too, right? I mean, if something happens in the inspection and you've got, the foundation's all jacked up, it's like, all right, well, we don't want this to happen. Right. So it's going to be even longer at that point. Right. So, just having patience with that and
Yeah. You had a good one with an animal in
that one was
that transaction.
Now, hold on. I want to hear about this.
Yeah, so we had it was the first one that I had tried to, or that we'd gotten on the market like that. It wasn't under my name, but I was helping run the floor. I was having open houses. I was checking, keeping up with things, and what was it, about halfway? We were just really struggling getting the place sold like that, and one day somebody had come in and they'd left the realtor had left a note that there was something, a squirrel or a mouse or something like that in the house. And so Connor, my mentor, he went over and checked it out, and he said, I couldn't find anything. You want to go over and check it out? So I went over to go check it out. I'm checking through everything, not seeing anything. And then I look in the last room, and it's just this glass and dirt broken everywhere. I was like, nope, we've definitely got something in there. It was chipmunks. Yeah, that I think is what it was. No, it was a squirrel. It was a squirrel. Yeah, because we got a picture at the we had to. So that was I had to get animal control out there, get that all taken care of, and that was a fun little process. But yeah.
But so there's some, especially an empty house, there's so many things that can happen.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So the longer it stays on like that, the more at risk you are of stuff like that happens. So
but everything can take time. It's just kind of the way it is, right? To do real estate. So what are you most excited about as you look out at your career in real estate? What kind of excites you the most right now?
I think the building my clientele. Just seeing, I've had a really good time. Had a lot of good relationships with personal training and stretching and all that. It's been fun watching some of the transactions I've had so far. It's been young couples like that are having babies and they're all this other stuff. So I guess seeing them kind of grow like that and seeing where they're at in the future and helping them out down the road whenever they got too big of a family to stay in the house that they're in now, and we can work with help them find another suitable home like that, and just keep that relationship going down the road like that. I think that's what I'm looking forward to. So
I know we talked about you're a big reader. Have you read anything recently that you think is a great book that people should know about? Or maybe there's a podcast. I know there's a podcast you've told me about. Maybe that's a better question.
Yours?
Well, yeah. Thank you. See, set that up.
All right. We owe him $5
now. I'm trying to think of something because honestly, it's been a lot of. If it's not your podcast I'm listening to, I'm trying to listen to something funny, or I'm trying to listen to something historical like that.
I'm glad you didn't say something good. If it's not your podcast, I'm trying to listen to something good.
No, I've really been enjoying. I think it's awesome. I love some of the people that a lot of the people that you've had on the show. Everybody. Right. Well, I learned something from it. You guys do a great job setting it up to where there's a funny story broken up in there. It's or something that sometimes I can get interested in some of the topics that you guys talk about like that. So,
what's your favorite history podcast?
Oh man. Well, I found out I really like listening to British voices and the way this. I can't remember. Is it Wondery maybe that does it? Maybe not. Anyway, a short history of. So it's 45, 50 minutes of. I think I recapped some of that with you every other week or every week. Where they just take 45 minutes and they've got production with it too, right? There's instruments in the background. They put you in the time and place. You can hear the crunching of the leaves, the ringing of the bell, all that kind of stuff. So that's really cool. The other one is Real Dictators. It's by the same people, same voice, all that kind of stuff, but a different one. So that's actually one on Saddam Hussein. There was a 5-parter that I just got done listening to on that. That was very interesting because I mean that was the tail end of him was happening while I was growing up, and I was kind of oblivious to all that stuff. So it was really kind of interesting to get a peek behind the curtain of some of that stuff. But
well, it's very interesting to listen to people's history. Like I was watching on YouTube, I was watching a Kobe Bryant interview, and the guy walked through his life with him, and it was amazing. I mean, I never knew. I'm not as you guys know, I'm not a huge basketball. I mean, it's just not a huge sports fan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But to listen to his story and how he became what he became, you think of these people as they're just naturally, have more ability than everybody else, and it's at a young age. His coach said something that he said, "Yep, that's what I'm going to be like," and he started focusing on that. He said, "I wasn't the fastest." He said, "I was fast, but I wasn't super fast." Mm-hmm. He said, "So I could jump, but I couldn't jump super high." So everything he had to do, he had to work at. So the first year that he played ball I think it was like a 12 through 14-year-olds. He said the first year he didn't score 1 point. He never even hit a free throw. Nothing. And what he took from that was not that he wasn't a good basketball player. What he took from that is, the first thing I need to do is work on my shooting. So guess what he did for the next 6 months? Did nothing but work on his shooting. Now, I wish I had been that smart at that age.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible that the kid would think that way.
Yeah.
And then after he got his shooting down, then he worked on something else. And then he worked on something else. And then the second year, he said, I played, I scored a little bit. He said, I didn't score much, but I scored a little bit. Mm-hmm. He said, the third year, I dominated.
Yeah.
He said, I dominated not only because of what he did, but he grew.
Well, that helps, right?
He developed his skills.
He had the preparation, and then that all set in, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's the same with real estate. It's the same with mortgages. Same with anything. You've got to work at it, and you have to develop those skills. And I think that's what, I think that's one of the big benefits you have of being where you're at with Circle is you have a bunch of people who have the skills and knowledge and ability, and they all seem like they're really helpful. Yeah. So it's really a big deal.
Yeah, very helpful, very open to help too. Yeah.
So you may not know this answer, but I'm going to ask it because I'm just curious. Why is it called Circle?
Oh, that is it. Well, I'm going to imagine it's probably 465.
Okay. I just didn't know if there was sometimes there's a story.
Right. I'm going to have to ask Jason that. I'm going to have to ask because I'm not for certain. That's my guess.
All right, we'll take your guess. That's word. That's the reason why.
It's the Circle City. It makes total sense, right? It's Circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as you, I know social media is not your big thing,
no.
But are you working more in that, or how is that going?
Relative to what I was before? Yeah. I've had a couple posts, but that's another thing. Well, and we've had some conversations on, and what you just mentioned with the whole Kobe Bryant stuff. He focused on one thing, and he focused on another thing.
Yes.
And he focused on another thing, and that's kind of where I need to be. We've talked about that, right? The CRM, the software, and all that kind of stuff, to be able to reach out to more people more consistently and efficiently. That's my first focus, and then kind of going from there, right?
Okay.
Just kind of stacking those things like that.
Yeah.
So the social media would then probably be the next thing. I can't remember who it was that my whole thought process with the social media stuff was driving it for picking up potential clients. But you had somebody on that had mentioned even just doing it to just stay in front of people's faces.
Yep.
Right?
A lot of them do.
Very quickly, right? That you do what you do. And so it's just nice to be in front of their faces like that.
Yeah.
So that's after I figure out that, that's the second step.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Rick and I like to joke around because when I was in the car business or whatnot, and I got married, my wife and I, we didn't care about social media. So we deleted all of our accounts. We didn't care for it. And then I get in here and I'm like, man, I wish I should have had it. So I try to reactivate it. And it's weird trying to get back into it. And
it's complicated sometimes too. You forget your passwords and all that other stuff. And it's
like, wait, this changed. How do I do this? Yeah. Or Rick comes there to my office asking me and goes, oh, you don't know this.
He doesn't. No, both you guys. I mean, you're young guys. You're supposed to be the people who know social media, and you're letting these old guys like me down.
I need a coach for that.
You need a coach for that. Yeah, that's just it. Well, it is amazing. Some of the people we've had on that know social media. We had one on the other day. I don't remember who it was for sure that said it, but he did coffee shop reviews.
Matt Dooley.
Matt Dooley. I thought that's who it was.
Yeah, that sounded familiar whenever you said that.
Yeah, he did coffee shop reviews, and that got him a lot. So it's not all about just real estate, and that's what got him the most views and a lot of followers and clients.
Yeah. It sounded like he got a lot of views off of it too, right?
Yeah, like over 1 million.
More, So it's good for them, good for him.
Yeah. And obviously, I noticed I worked with a guy and we were kind of testing it. This was years ago. It was on LinkedIn, so a little different than Facebook. But we noticed that whenever you put business stuff on, 2 or 3 people looked at it. Whenever it was non-business and it was more fun, a whole lot more people, hundreds, compared to 2 or 3, it was hundreds to thousands of people would interact with it. So you got to be really, you have to have both, I think.
You got to mix it up. Yeah.
But I'm not an expert, but I think that's what you got to have.
I would imagine that would help.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, here, I'm going to help you out. So if somebody's wanting to get in touch with you, talk real estate, what would be the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Yeah, text or call 812-686-4342, or you can email me, Tyler, at circle-re.com.
Yeah, and that's 812-686-4342.
Correct.
4342. That's easy. That's what Ian was saying.
Yeah, well, it's 686 too.
Yeah.
686-4342.
It was a lot easier to learn that number than it was my last name. So
Tischendorf?
Yeah, it took a while figuring out how to spell that growing up. Yeah.
I can imagine. It took me like 14 years to figure out how to spell Ripma. It's only 5 letters. That takes a while. And to get a hold of Ian or I, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or you can call us at 317-672-1938. It's 317-672-1938. And please follow us for more Indy's Real Estate Gurus.
And a reminder, if you have any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, refinance, let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you. Tyler, thank you for joining us on our show. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's been awesome. I know we've been talking about this for a little bit, Rick. So it was wonderful meeting you, Ian, and really appreciate you guys having me on. This was fun.
Anytime you want to torture Rick, I give you permission.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He doesn't need that.
I was going to say that's gonna.
He pays you to do it.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
I think he's mentioned that.
I can't believe it. I'm gonna have to rethink this.
Yeah. Well, you've mentioned that a couple of times, and it's the after effects. It's the torture.
Yeah. I kid and say it's torture, but I really was at the point where I thought I might have to sell our house because I was having trouble going up and down the stairs. Now I walk up and down the stairs, no problem at all.
Now, if you want to sell your house, you have to go through him since he allowed you to do that.
Yeah, well, he allowed me to do that, so I don't have to sell my house.
Just stay in the house.
You just cost yourself business.
I know. Yeah. How selfless.
There was one time, I'd been working out for a year and a half or something. I don't remember what it was, but one of the exercises he has me do, it's like you're a big weight. What are the
dumbbells?
No,
the kettlebells.
The kettlebells, and he go up and down the stairs.
Yeah.
So I walk down the stairs, and I have a towel in my pocket, and it falls out, and I go back up. When I walk back down, I'm carrying 50 pounds.
Yeah.
And I see it, and I just lean over and pick it up. Now I could never have done that before I started all that.
Yeah.
I know for most people it's nothing, but it's a big deal when you can do things like that.
It's a big deal. Well, and you were so used to it by that point, it didn't even register.
Register.
Yeah.
You noticed it, but I didn't. Yeah. Just because I can do it now.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. So anybody out there is older and you're starting to lose it, it's what I found for me anyway. I don't know if it's everybody, but for me, it's the lack of use, not the age.
Yeah, for sure.
So get out there, and it's amazing what you can get back if you get out there and work at it.
Absolutely. Reverse some of that.
Yeah. Call Tyler for real estate, and he can point you in the right direction for,
That's right.
workouts and
Give you
stretches,
some
right?
tips on some of that too.
That's right. All right. Thanks, Tyler. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it.
Branch NMLS number 33041. Rick Ripma's NMLS number 6645890. Ian Arnold NMLS number is 1995469. Equal housing opportunity. Some restrictions apply.